Hello everyone! Welcome to today's session. To our graduate research seminar instructor, Sir Arturo Gracia, good day sir. To all our viewers, teachers, and students, I welcome you all. By the way, this is Yasseruf Avi from Carrascal, Surigao del Sur, a junior high school teacher at Binukaya National High School in the division of Agusan del Sur. As we all know, the world encounters different crises and conflicts such as poverty, inequality, environmental destruction, and even the COVID-19 pandemic, which are more serious this year. Of course, this is not the world we want. What we want is a peaceful, just, and sustainable society. Who can make this possible? We can. That's why we need to foster the global citizenship education so that we can create the world we want. Who are the global citizens? Are these people who traveled abroad or people who speak different languages? Global citizens are those who uphold values of justice, equality, and diversity, and those people who take actions to bring changes. Today, we're going to talk about preparing teachers for global citizenship education. These are the flow of our discussion. Foundation of global citizenship education, concept of global citizenship education, and key learning outcomes of global citizenship education. The power of education has no boundaries. It is not enough that we only learn to read, write, and count. Through education, we also need to gain knowledge and skills to enhance our lives and benefit our environment. At the same time, we cannot overlook the role of education in inculcating non-cognitive learning outcomes such as values, ethics, social responsibility, civic engagement, and citizenship. Education can transform the way we think and act to build more just, peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive societies. I believe all educators are aware about global citizenship education, and as teachers in the 21st century, we are required to be responsible and responsive to global and local issues, whether in health, environment, peace, or economic security. One of the roles of educators is to educate our students to develop knowledge, skills, and attribute to global citizenship education through education process. Yes, it is not enough that they only learn to read, write, and count, but we need to do our part as educators to help our students to develop more just, peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive societies. What is global citizenship? It refers to a sense of belonging to the global community, a common sense of humanity, and thereby a sense of community towards global well-being. This means global citizenship responsibilities are for everyone, regardless of your status, young and old, rich or poor. Doesn't matter where we come from or what race we are, because we are all human. What is global citizenship education? Global citizenship education, or GCED, aims to empower learners of all ages to assume active roles both locally and globally in building more peaceful, tolerant, inclusive, and secure societies. Our rules as educators is to let them understand and realize their role in the society, both globally or locally. We will help them to cultivate innovation and commitment to build peace, to value human rights and sustainable development. Essentially, global citizenship education addresses three core conceptual dimensions of learning. For education to be transformative, we have knowledge for cognitive domain, must touch the heart for socio-emotional domain, and turn into action to bring out positive change for behavioral domain. The first core conceptual dimensions of learning is cognitive, to acquire knowledge, understanding, and critical thinking about global, regional, national, and local issues, and the interconnectedness and interdependency of different countries and populations. which means we must help our students to develop knowledge on what is going on in this world. For example, in science subject, and the topic is about global warming, we will emphasize the status of global warming in the present and in the future. Like, how serious is global warming now? We can let them perform debate, panel discussion, write an essay, and other activities to develop their cognitive skills. The second one is socio-emotional. To have a sense of belonging to a common humanity, sharing values and responsibilities, empathy, solidarity, and respect for differences and diversity. Learners must have a sense of belonging to the humanity, sharing values and responsibility. They will show empathy and respect for individual differences and diversity. They have empathy about the global and local issues and take responsibility to make sure that the world is a better place to stay. The third one is behavioral. To act effectively and responsibly at local, national, and global levels for a more peaceful and sustainable world. So our students will feel that they are also responsible to global or local issues and take actions to resolve it. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by 193 United Nations member states in 2015, sets up an ambitious plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. So these are the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, developed by United Nations, which has an inspiring plan for all. To achieve its vision, the 2030 Agenda's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, seeks to eradicate extreme poverty and strengthen universal peace by integrating and balancing the three dimensions of sustainable development, the economic, social, and environmental comprehensively. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set up by United Nations that each country must consider to take some actions for the continuous development of every country, whether political, social, economic, and so on. While all 17 SDG are important to realize, education is the main driver of development. The quality of education is in SDG number 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality of education for all. One of the goals of United Nations, particularly in UNESCO, in order to address the global challenges is by creating GCED, or what we call Global Citizenship Education. This is the reason why we have GCED, because of the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, the quality of education. The significance of global citizenship education is reflected in Target 4.7 of the SDGs. It says, by 2030, ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. Global citizenship education should be implemented in the curriculum because it also inculcates global competence to the students. Their educational experiences will help them to improve their competence in dealing with social issues. In addition, global citizenship education plays an essential role to attain other SDGs. Supporting teachers in global citizenship education. Teachers play a critical role in education. Besides transferring knowledge content to learners, teachers are expected to create an environment that is conducive to learning and to prepare their students to be productive, ethical, moral, and responsible citizens in a rapidly changing and interconnected world. To do so, we want our teachers to have strong subject and pedagogic content knowledge, possess effective classroom management skills, readily adopt new technologies, and be inclusive and sensitive to the diverse needs of their students. Our demands are high, and so are the stakes. The quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers and the quality of teaching. Therefore, building the capacity of teachers to meet the challenges of global citizenship education is a top priority. We, teachers, as the key actors in ensuring quality education, we are required to expand our knowledge base and pedagogic skills. Great teaching needs practice. For us to become effective, we must be nurtured through high-quality trainings and continuous learning. I know all of us had attended various trainings, workshops, or webinar to help us become well-developed. How do we transform vision into practice? The answer lies in education. The vision of global citizenship education to build more just, peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive societies requires appropriate visions, policies, strategies, commitment, and sustained action. Through a critical education process, the root causes of conflicts and crises are fully understood, followed by the design and implementation of appropriate action for resolving them. Through education, it gives our student a deep understanding that we are all tied together as citizens in the global community and to realize that we are all responsible to take care of the world. Before we end this video lesson, I have here some questions for you to evaluate your understanding about global citizenship education.
The world is becoming one. The challenges we face are diverse, but they concern us all. We need global solutions, but where do we find them? Education teaches us to read, write, and count. That's important. But is it enough? Because individual actions now have a global impact, we have to change the way we think and act. What if education was transformative? What if education encouraged us to care for our world and for those with whom we share it? What if education taught us about peace, protecting our environment, human rights, respect, cultural diversity, justice? What if education gave us the skills we need to answer the big questions of the day? To find solutions to the interconnected challenges of the 21st century. Global citizenship education. It gives us the keys to a more just, peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive world.
Thank you everyone for listening and watching this video lesson. I hope that you have gained knowledge from our topic, which is preparing teachers for global citizenship education. Again, this is Yasirut Agi. God bless us all.